Well, a Senate panel is calling on executives from YouTube, TikTok, and Snapchat to face questions on what their companies are actually doing to ensure young users' safety, while at the same time, we all struggle with devices and probably spending far too much time online as well. Social media burnout, can you feel it? Yeah, a lot of us can. Ashin Singh now with how to maybe try and put that phone down.
This morning, executives from TikTok, YouTube, and Snapchat are set to testify on Capitol Hill at a hearing on the safety of social media for kids. The issue gaining the spotlight after the Wall Street Journal reported on Facebook's internal research that found its Instagram app could be harmful to a teenager's mental health.
They're oftentimes seeking validation, identity formation based on what they're posting on social media platforms.
I feel like this is a good video, but...
For 17-year-old influencer Brooklyn Webb, with over 9.8 million followers on TikTok, social engagement online has taken an emotional toll.
It definitely was an addicting feeling, and I had to keep going and going because I didn't want to take a break, because then just one day off, that's a day of engagement gone.
So the mental health definitely does take a backseat for you.
Yeah, I think I have at some points where days that I just laid in bed all the time, I straight deleted the app, turned off my phone, said good night.
A recent survey has shown that younger generations are most affected by burnout these days, with 59% of millennials and 58% of Gen Zers saying they've experienced burnout this year. And experts say social media and screen time are to blame.
This is my vlog camera.
According to seasoned influencers like Alicia Marie, with over 10 million combined followers on YouTube and Instagram, the secret to avoiding social media burnout is not complicated. It all boils down to using it a lot less.
I was so sure that people were gonna be mad. I got a lot of comments of people being like, it seems like you're not into it anymore, and I wish you the best. So very supportive. I was crying just reading all the comments.
For Zach King, who's known for his mind-bending magic tricks to over 45 million followers, it's all about knowing when to step away.
Maybe your phone's off after 5 p.m. Maybe you're not on it. I think there's a lot of benefits of having your audience right there at the fingertips, but also it can be pretty destructive if that's what you're always thinking about creating for.
And of all the influencers we talked to, they said they are still beholden to the algorithm, but they advise users to take breaks, ask for help, and set app time limits. Kira?
Ashin, thank you so much. All right, let's scroll a little deeper into the feed this morning, shall we? With two experts weighing in on the short and long-term consequences of social media burnout. Lori Getz, founder of Cyber Education Consultants, and psychologist Dr. Wisdom Powell. I just love that a psychologist's name is Wisdom. That's so brilliant, Wisdom. She's the director of the Health Disparities Institute at UConn Health. They're joining us now with their insight. Great to see you both.
Good morning.
All right, Wisdom, wise one that you are. Common Sense Media, something I look at all the time as a mom, reveals that more than 60% of all 14 to 22-year-olds are exposed to some sort of hate speech while they browse. Facebook whistleblower Frances Haugen, as you know, we followed this live the whole time she testified in front of the UK Parliament yesterday, and even here on Capitol Hill weeks ago, saying that anger was the most profitable emotion for Facebook. The quote was, unquestionably, Facebook is making hate worse. Wow. So what do we do with our kids, especially our vulnerable teens? Where do we even start the conversation? I mean, I tell my kids no, and all that does is create tension, but I'm not giving in. Maybe you need to help me out here with a more softer approach.
Well, I think it's really important for us to understand that our youth are navigating a very different social environment than we grew up in, where social media is taking center stage in their lives. And we can't also forget that during the pandemic, many of our youth have been relying on these social spaces for connection, for an opportunity to establish relationships with folks. So we have to be empathetic to that. But to your point, we also have to be mindful of the kinds of social media that our children are digesting, because we know as we are observing, that some of these algorithms are designed to deliver content to our youth that they search for often. So let's say our youth are searching for harmful images, or they're searching for self-injury on the farther side. They will then be continuously fed those same kinds of images. And that is where the detriment comes. So as parents, we have to be vigilant. We have to make sure that we are observing the big changes in behavior that erupts in our children as they navigate these social spaces. Keep our devices in common places in the home. Make sure that we ask the questions. Who are you connecting with? And also be sure to make it clear that when our children are in spaces and they face difficult conversations, or they're being forced to do something they don't want to do, that they understand that they can hold those boundaries firm. Ultimately, this is village work, right? Social media platform owners have to step up to the plate and also make sure that they do their work to protect our children. And as parents, we have to be vigilant and remind our children that we're doing this because we care and we love them.
So true. And just real quickly, Wisdom, while I'm thinking about it, my kids always say, but Mom, everyone else has devices. I just want to fit in. I feel left out. I feel like the one that isn't able to connect because they're all doing it. And you know, I'm sticking to my beliefs, but it is hard for my kids to tell me I feel like an outcast. What would you say to them, Wisdom?
I would say, you know, my mother would always say the important thing is to do in life is to blend out, not to blend in. And I know that our children don't often resonate with those messages. They're too present in the now to appreciate them. But I think we have to explain to our children that this is the time when even finding time and space for yourself is important. So stepping away from these devices isn't just about, you know, me as a parent wanting to set a firm boundary. It's also about maintaining your own self-awareness, finding a time to be mindful and to be alone with oneself. And lifting that up is actually a sign of maturity, and also as a sign that one is stepping into a new way of being. I think our children really want to blend in, and that's important to recognize, but we have to encourage them that being themselves is their most precious asset.
Amen. Lori, let's talk about algorithms and product designs used by social media giants. I mean, it can magnify the harm to our children. How do we intercept that?
Well, if they're aware of it, that's the first thing that we need to do. So a lot of times that when children start using social media, they really don't even understand how privacy works. A lot of times kids will say, oh, it's a private account, so don't worry, nobody can see me unless I allow them to. But what they don't understand is that privacy actually means control. And it's their right to control who sees something, who knows something, how much they see and how much they know. However, what the children don't understand, and a lot of adults don't understand this either, is that we actually give up the right to control who sees our information once we put it out there, right? So you are choosing, when you have a private account, to say, okay, I'm going to allow two groups to control what I am putting out there. I'm going to allow the company to control it because they see everything I do. And then I'm going to allow my friends and followers to control this information as well. They can re-disseminate it and do whatever they want with it. But what happens is they also forget about the control the company has as far as what is being presented to them. The algorithms will say, okay, well, this child rolled over this image for a few seconds, so therefore they must want to see other things that are just like this. And it will flood the feed. And when it does that, it starts to normalize these things for our kids. And our kids start to think, okay, well, if I'm seeing this over and over and over again, it must be true, it must be right. And rather than our children saying, you know, well, this is just what my generation does, this is just what's normal, we really need to help them ask bigger, better questions. Just because it's normal, does it make it safe? Does it make it healthy? Does it make it right for you? And when we do that, we start to empower them to be able to say, okay, you know what I'm being presented with in this algorithm may not match what my values are. They may not match what my family's values are. So it's really starting to understand who's controlling what in this environment.
Lori Getz and Wisdom Powell, thank you so much. I appreciate you both, especially as a parent.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.